The United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grunberg, called on the Houthi militia to immediately and unconditionally release all United Nations employees and to refrain from further arbitrary arrests. During a session held by the UN Security Council, Grunberg urged the Houthis to act responsibly for the sake of the Yemeni people. This report has more.
As cholera and starvation worsen in Yemen, conflicting parties are preparing and threatening to go back to war, according to UN officials. The Security Council was informed by the UN Special Representative Hans Grunberg that despite concerned efforts to protect it, Yemen has become entangled in the Israeli-Hamas conflict in Gaza. The Houthi rebels are still attacking ships in the Red Sea, and the US and the United Kingdom are retaliating by attacking military targets within the areas under Houthi control. Since the Houthis, who are backed by Iran, took control of much of northern Yemen in 2014 and drove the internationally recognized government from the country's capital Sana'a, Yemen has been plunged into a civil conflict. Even though there hasn't been as much violence since the 6-month truce in 2022, Grunberg voiced grave concern about the direction that events in Yemen have been taking lately. He said, "We are continuing to witness military preparations and reinforcements, accompanied by continuous threats of a return to war." In addition, the financial director of the UN Humanitarian Office and Grunberg insisted that the Houthis free everyone who was held right away. The financial director of the UN Humanitarian Office informed the Council that attempts to address urgent needs in Yemen, where food security is declining and the number of cholera cases increased from 60,000 in April to over 147,000 in early August, are hampered by a shortage of funds.
I therefore call on Ansarallah to act responsibly women and immediately and unconditionally release all UN, NGO, civil society, diplomatic mission and private sector employees, as well as members of religious minorities, and refrain from further arbitrary detentions. Let them be reunited with their families. Let them go back to their jobs, serving Yemenis, providing humanitarian assistance, development assistance, peace building, human rights, mediation, and the protection of cultural heritage.
Only 25% of cholera patients can be treated with current funding, and the UN health experts warned that the number of suspected cases could further increase, potentially reaching more than 250,000 in just a few weeks in the absence of urgent new funding. 60% of Yemenis do not have enough food, while in regions under Houthi control, the percentage of those who suffer from acute food insecurity has more than doubled from 17% to 36% from the previous year.